This is your boy JB. I just got finished watching the Michael Jackson memorial service, and I was kind of glad, man, because I kind of felt like it came from, you know what I'm saying, some kind of message came from me, from God, telling me that I didn't have to go to work at 2 o'clock. Because I thought I had to go to work at 2 o'clock. When I got there, I had already seen at least about 15 minutes of it, and I missed like 20 minutes, and I looked at the schedule, and it said I didn't have to be there till 6 o'clock. Now, I'm about like 2 hours away from being at work, and I came back to watch it. Maybe it was a message for me to see this memorial service, because for the past week and a half that Michael Jackson has been dead, I have been tearing up. Now, not one teardrop has fell from my eyes. Usually I don't cry. Maybe it was something real deep about this man that made me tear up. Because, I mean, you gotta think about it, man. It was Michael Jackson, man. Michael Jackson that passed. And one thing I got to address, man, I like to thank God for placing Al Sharpton on this world, because we needed a voice to speak on behalf of everybody and on behalf of all his, his critics, his haters, and everybody out there. Because Al Sharpton got up there and said it was nothing strange about your daddy. It was just strange what he had to deal with, and that hit me the most, man. I was so crunk. I was so excited, because we needed that voice. We needed somebody to speak on behalf of everybody, to let these people know that, you know what I'm saying, Michael Jackson wasn't about that BS. Michael Jackson did what he had to do while he was down here. Michael Jackson stood for love. Michael Jackson stood for power. Michael Jackson stood for encouragement. Michael Jackson stood for everything, you and for me. That's why he made the song. So people saying he wasn't, or why are they complaining about this man? Why they keep talking about him? Oh, he wasn't God. You're right. He wasn't God. But maybe God had to make a second seed to throw down here to let us all know that we need to cherish love again, that we need to see reality, that we need to see the whole big picture all over again. You see, people wondering why we don't understand why he's gone. We'll never understand why he's gone, just like they said on the TV. But one thing we can understand the message. The message of what's going on. We can understand and look around our surroundings of what's going on around the world, because maybe God had to take a man like him out to make us see the big, bright picture, to make us look out the window and see what's really happening out there in the world. Maybe he needed to take him out to let the new generation know that real music does exist, to let everybody know that real music does exist. Maybe he needed to take him out for a whole bunch of different causes. And tell you the truth, God don't make no mistake. Regardless of what you atheists out there and say, I'm going by my religious belief. God don't make mistakes. God didn't make a mistake from pulling this man out. And I just thank God for allowing Michael Jackson to be here, because I grew up on Michael Jackson. My mother grew up on Michael Jackson, and I'm glad that I'm born in the present of when he was translating to the pop culture. I was born right at it, man. When my mother grew up on him, she grew up on the Motown funk. I grew up on the pop rock, and that's why it probably hit me just the way it is. And what really hit me is when his daughter got up there and she spoke on behalf of her father, and she couldn't even make it through. Usher couldn't make it through. Jermaine couldn't make it through. And she couldn't make it through. And when she spoke on behalf of her father, most of you don't understand. I felt that. I remember what it felt like when I had to speak on behalf of my father. I didn't speak on behalf at the funeral, but I spoke on behalf in front of the people. And it hit me. It hit me hard. And I can understand why she couldn't finish it. People beating down on this man, hating on him, and everything else, worrying about why the kids are not his. Don't worry about why the kids are not his. Maybe it's not his. So what if it's not his? I thought it all depended on who feeds you with the spoon, not the man that, you know what I'm saying? Why are people worried about the BS? Just drop it, man. Just drop it. And that's one thing I got to address about the whole thing. So Michael Jackson will never, ever be forgotten. And damn, man, it's just hard to amount to the work that he's done. It's hard to amount to the work that he's done. And it's real emotional right now, man. He was that big. He was that big for a lot of us that didn't even know him as a person. But he was so much. He was in the camera so much that you just had to know who he was. You had to know who he was, because Michael Jackson didn't have a life. He didn't have a life from when he was born to when he died. The only life he felt like he had was in Neverland, and they took that away from him too. So really, he never did have a life, and that's why it probably hit us the most, and that's probably why we're crying and why we're grieving and stuff, because we actually witnessed what his life. We actually witnessed his life or what he had to go through. We witnessed everything. He was always recorded. He would never stop. And every time he walked out, people would gather around him and wouldn't even give him any air to breathe. So just imagine what his family going through, man. Just imagine. So, yeah, man. That's all I got to say, man. That junk hit me hard. It make you look back and think, man, what the hell are we really, really doing? It make you sit back and think, what the hell are we really, really doing with our lives? Because I've been trying to tell people for the longest. It's all about, you know, the reality, man. You got to look at reality. And when shit hits the fan, people don't know how to react. And this junk right here hit the fan. And now you see his fans committing suicide and everything else. Because people don't know how to handle it. Reality is a bear. You can go to comedy clubs and get a good laugh out of my videos or everybody else's videos, but behind it all, it's all reality. What are you going to do when reality hits you in the face? That's why I chose to be a poet. I chose to be a poet because I wanted people to see the reality and show people that you can seek through it and that you can make it through it. While other people out here still playing around and junk, you know, going to clubs and all the other stuff. Not saying that club is completely bad for you. Yeah, it's okay if you use it during your playtime, but it's also a serious time. You got to be serious and look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? I'm quite sure Michael Jackson didn't have a hard time looking at himself in the mirror saying, what am I doing with my life? Because he already knew that he was touching people around the world. We are the world. So that's all I got to say, y'all. Y'all got to think about it, man. Because this right here is serious. Look at yourself in the mirror and see what you're doing with your life. Alright? JB, holla at you. Another thing I gotta address, man, I gotta say, people, please leave Joe Jackson alone. You don't know what was going on behind closed doors. And tell you the guy, honest truth, you may hate the man, but best believe this: he is the rock to that family. He is the rock to the Jackson 5. He is the rock to Michael Jackson. So if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't hear about no Michael Jackson. It was his discipline that he had installed in those kids to get them to be the performers that they were. And yes, he may have went overboard, but tell you the truth, you got to kind of thank God for placing him here. Thank Joe Jackson. Don't think that he's just a devil. Joe Jackson is not a devil, okay? Please leave the man alone, because if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't be no Michael Jackson, okay? Can you please stop saying it? Because I'm getting so tired of that. I'm getting so tired of that. I'm getting so tired of all the critics. Just let the man rest in peace. Let the man rest in peace. Joe Jackson promised himself and to his family that he wasn't going to allow his kids to come up in Louisiana or Indiana in the hood being hood rats and stuff. He was going to make something out of his kids. And guess what? His family don't have to worry no more. They don't have to suffer no more because he did that. So thank him too.